I had imagined that our first flight with our son with autism was going to be a absolute disaster. We had pictured meltdowns, standing in line at TSA, going through all those instructions in such a new place. We pictured screaming, boarding the plane, or when the plane took off. And we pictured all of the silent or not so silent judgment from the people all around us. But none of that happened. Um, there was actually 5 things that we had done ahead of time that seemed to have a much larger impact than we had ever expected. So if this is going to be your first time going on a flight or another flight and you're looking for tips, maybe these things can help you avoid a lot of that stress that we had imagined was going. Hey, I'm Matthew. My wife and I like to travel a lot, and sometimes we like to take our son, who has autism, along with us. The goal of this channel is to make travel feel possible for families who would otherwise think it isn't. Everything that I'm sharing here is from our experience or research, not because we're experts, we're not, but because we've learned a lot going through trial and error. So our biggest mistake wasn't actually like on the plane. It was everything before the plane that actually turned out to be where the problems lied. It's all that waiting in line, sometimes hours, before you even get through to TSA to be checked, and now having to go through all of the scanner and being told to stand a certain way for a certain period of time, all of that. Um, it's the waiting at the gate, sitting in those seats, just waiting to get called in, and now you have to transition again, just many transitions. A lot of that actually was the bigger problem than being on the plane. Once we were on the plane, we could have our activities or tablet if you're not screen free, all of that. And that turned out to be fine. The the way we mitigated that this time is going to be tip number one. It's practice. So for like a month ahead of the trip, we just set aside time to practice packing our suitcase or backpack. We let him pick out what he wanted to use, and it would vary and change from time to time, but eventually he settled on a suitcase. And so we practiced packing it and putting the clothes in there, and then the next day we would get our outfit from the suitcase, kind of get used to that, get the idea of it. It's a little, we did it like we were camping, kind of mix it in with that, try to make it fun, try to make it engaging, so that way they're comfortable with it and familiar with it by time that's going to be the norm and the necessity when traveling. We also practice by watching POV videos on YouTube. So there's POV videos for like going through TSA, what to expect and how it is, what's going on. We watch videos of planes taking off and landings, as we know we're going to see that when we're sitting at the gate waiting for boarding. Videos of boarding and getting in our seats, everybody walking by, what they're doing. Videos of the plane in the air, flying, and the sounds of every air, the instructions for the flight, landing, the roar. And then we also did videos of like if we were going to an actual theme park or something, we would do videos of the rides to get an idea of how all of that's going to be. So visually, it's no longer new. And maybe a little bit auditorially, it's no longer new. So we took away a lot of that new factor and practice getting used to that, practice walking through the house with our suitcase, practice standing in line, and then watch the videos on the TV of the plane and all of that stuff we practiced. Um, it helped a lot. It actually helped more than we thought because he would he would tell us what we needed to do next when we went through, and it was kind of cool to see him take charge and all of that, where instead of meltdowns that we were expecting, in place of that we were seeing a confident young man like taking charge of like, I know this, mom, dad, we've been watching this, you know what to do, and just doing it right with us. We were kind of shocked and stunned by that. But the next thing kind of rolls along with practice. Um, TSA, TSA cares. Um, call ahead. Call the airports that you're going to be visiting. Call them and ask what accommodations are available there. Let them know you're coming. Let them know what the situation is, and ask what accommodations they know of. Speak to the director or whoever's going to be in charge. Don't just talk to a normal employee that day, because if they're not working the day you come, it could be different. But you do want straight from the director, and if you can follow up with email and being like, hey, just following up on our conversation from today. Um, and just want to make sure that I have a great understanding that these were the accommodations you said would be available at, you know, LAS or BHM, MKE, whatever the airport that you're calling for, whether it be your layover airport, your airport from your destination, or your departing airport for the start of the vacation. Call each individual one. Also, call and set up a time with TSA Cares wherever you can. For us, it's like a state over, about a 3 hour drive, but it's worth it. TSA Cares is a fantastic program where you'll go there and they will give the child a tour of TSA and the security lines, and let them understand what's going on, what it looks like, what they're going to be doing, why they're doing it, how the things work. You know, what is the scanner doing? Why do I have to put my bag and with all my comfort items, why do I have to put that over there? And it's going through this machine that's eating it now. It's like they explain all of that and go through all of that with them, and kind of practice a little bit as well ahead of time. But normally you have to call them well enough ahead to be able to set up that time. And we did that luckily about a month and a half out, and we were able to get in and go through all of that. So it's a fantastic resource, especially for preparing for the airports, airplanes, just TSA, all of that craziness that can be while they're sitting there yelling out names, yelling out instructions. It can be a lot, especially for the neurodivergent brain. Uh, Speaking of comfort items, that'll go into our next one. Pack familiar comfort items. Um, a blanket, a stuffy, all those type of things, and wash them before you leave. So that way they smell like home. They're familiar, the item's familiar, but the smell is familiar. It feels the same, it looks the same, it sounds the same, it smells the same. All those senses are elevated with autism. So we want to make sure we bring comfort to all of them, especially in a moment of need or in a medical emergency. Um, pack pack outfits, preferred outfits. Don't try to go with a whole new wardrobe or anything like that. Pack some comfort outfits that are familiar. Do pack some new things, some new activities. You'll want your normal activity books or Tonys or things like that, but pack some new things as well, but new. So our son, he loves Minecraft, loves Legos, the Lego video games. So we brought along some Minecraft Legos, and he loved that. It was new, and it kept his attention span longer than a lot of the familiar things. A lot of familiar things can get his attention and whatnot, but he gets bored with them a little bit quicker. And we wanted to make sure we had some feed that boredom and satiate it and make it go away. So pack some new things as well. Another common thing to pack, if your child tolerates them, noise canceling headphones are a huge, huge lifesaver, especially when we're in TSA or when the plane's taking off or about to land. All of those things are very loud moments. So the noise canceling headphones are great. I'll put a link in the description of the ones that we use. The Raycon ones. Our son loves them, um, wears them all the time. Um, Eye masks are an option. Now, you may have to practice that ahead of time if they're already not familiar with wearing an eye mask. Our son was not, but there were times when he'd be willing to wear them, and being able to block out that sensory, give that just darkness, silence. It worked for him sometimes, but the feeling he would want to take it off. So that can be hit or miss if you're not already having them acclimated to them. If they are, trust me, that could be a lifesaver, because then they'll sleep on the plane, and a lot of that stimulus is now just gone. Um, Pack safe foods. This is a huge one. Like, they like macaroni and cheese, Kraft. The little cups that you would microwave. Pack a bunch of those. The children, if you bought a ticket for them, they get a personal item and a carry-on as well. Utilize that space for their comfort items and safe foods, while also you're going to have to utilize your carry-on, your personal item, your backpack, all of that stuff to, you know, actually, uh, I'm blanking here, to be able to fit everything. And with safe foods being so important, like, it doesn't matter if you're at a really nice big layover airport, or you got to the airport early, or anything like that. Then they have lots of restaurants, or you could be at a small one that doesn't have very many choices at all, like niche bagel shops and coffee shop. Um, and they know if it doesn't look the same, they know if it doesn't taste the same. And the last thing you need is them to be hungry, thirsty, and they just won't eat it. Whatever it is you got for them, now you're out the money and they're still hungry. Bring safe foods. It's a lot easier to get some hot water to mix in, make the macaroni and cheese, or whatever. Have packs of granola if they'll eat it, Pop Tarts. But pack safe foods. You'll thank me. Trust me. Um, the noise canceling headphones, I think a lot of people already know about that. Are probably used to that in their daily life. So I'll give you a bonus one. We'll not count that as one of the 5 tips. We'll go with another one. Battery packs. If you're not screen free, that's going to be a huge, having battery packs that can keep the tablets charged. Having battery packs for, maybe an iPod, something that plays music that you control. Battery packs for your phone. If you're going to somewhere like Disney, where you're going to need to use the Disney app for things like your DAS pass or anything like that. And we'll talk about that in another video. We'll have a Disney video coming up. That's going to be a big hot topic. But you're going to need a separate battery pack for your phone, because that's going to keep you guys moving, keep you going, and you don't need that dying on you. Make sure Tony boxes are charged, or any screenless devices are charged ahead of time, because regular plugs. Um, oh, and make sure that any battery pack that you do pack, however many, that it's TSA approved, because you're so prepared. You got your safe foods, you got your headphones, you did TSA cares, you practice for 2 months, you're all prepared. Then you get there, you go through TSA, and they take your battery packs. And now you're stuck with dead devices and meltdowns. Make sure that any battery packs are TSA approved. Hopefully, this could help y'all on your next little trip. If you have any more tips or anything you'd like to share, go ahead and throw it in the comments below. I'd like to build a helpful community here, and build up a nice resource that we can share out. Keep an eye out for future videos. Like I said, we're gonna be working on a Disney one. We might even have a dedicated video specifically just for that DAS Pass stuff. But wow, it's just okay. It's slipping. Well, hit that like button, that subscribe button, and we'll see y'all on the next one. Where are you going?